Welcome to the final presentation on Limiano. We will now present to you our findings from the past 12 weeks with the innovation and value creation wheel. We show you how we try to come up with a new innovative solution for Limiano. Our Limiano project team is composed of 5 students, all coming with very diverse backgrounds and bringing different levels of expertise to the table, and our key decision maker at Limiano, Paula Moral. This presentation is centered around the value creation wheel, and we will start with phase one, which is composed of a short introduction of Limiano, then a deep dive in its environment with the Taos, pasta, customer and competitor analysis, presenting the challenge and expected KPIs. We will go over to phase two, where we see how we collected ideas and criteria, and phase three, where we show how we further broke down our initial idea with the help of our key decision maker. In phase four, then we discussed the value creation funnel and our concept and value proposition while showing the prototype of our final idea. We then finished with the last phase, having a closer look at the 3 M's again, and the business model and the implications on how Limiano could pursue such an idea. Starting with phase one, the defined phase. Limiano is a very well-known brand in Portugal with the values of family, authenticity, and tradition, which are very core to the brand itself. The vision of being the favorite cheese brand of the Portuguese and the mission to inspire families to bond with each other by promoting true moments of sharing and union are very central and core and were very important for us to consider with our new idea. To get a better understanding of Limiano as a brand, we conducted first a normal SWOT analysis where we developed and or saw the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the brand. The strength are mainly that the brand awareness is very, very high, especially around Portugal. It's the favorite cheese in the country. It is very well known for its texture and its taste. It is very versatile, and the values of family and generosity are very well known around Portugal as well. The weaknesses are for sure a low level of product differentiation. It is very expensive. There are no promotions oftentimes, and it is not perceived to be involved in social causes. Limiano is also not very well considered to be inspiring. And if we could consider, for example, a vegan option, the logo is a problem as there is a cow displayed. Opportunities definitely lie in the plant-based sector as more consumers are going plant-based, as well as a high-protein line as there are so many fitness trends going on, which would suit this solution. Also, environmentally friendly packaging or partnership with other product categories could be an opportunity. Threats, for example, are that competitors have a greater portfolio of products, for example, Terra. Then increasing the interest for vegan options could be a threat as well as an opportunity. And the concept of traditional family is not very much appealing anymore. Based on this SWOT analysis, we went over to do a Taos. And here we can see, or we derived more of actions from the SWOT analysis. For the opportunities lying in our strength, Limiano could leverage upon its strong brand recognition. It could much more highlight the importance of family for sustainability so that future generations could also leverage this Limiano cheese. And it could be exploring eco-friendly packaging as well as collaborations. The opportunities and the weaknesses lie, for example, with an annual social cause competition or also more engagement in social and ecological projects. For example, with a student competition, the students come up with new social ecological ideas Limiano could leverage marketing upon. The threats in the strengths are, for example, the utilization of the family image. It should be transformed, or it should be extended to new and non-traditional family concepts. And further, the definition of the family should be broadened and incorporate gym buddies, friends, much more than just this traditional core family. Threats and weaknesses could be the implementation of a loyalty program, also the introduction of a vegan option, as we discussed previously, and engage in customers with brainstorming engaging the customers much more with, for example, brainstorming sessions where customers really include their ideas and their visions for Limiano. To get further with our understanding, we conducted the path analysis, which helped us to get an understanding for the overall environment in which Limiano operates. Political, economical, and social factors are creating a relatively stable market, allowing for aiming at new objects. Technological, environmental, and legal perspectives, on the other hand, showed us that trending technologies in the market are very important, such as, for example, social media and marketing, and that need to be incorporated, or environmental requirements that are getting much more pressing, and also legal requirements. With that, we got like a much better and holistic view of Limiano and its positioning in the market. So now having a look at the competitive landscape, we see that there are different brands or cheese brands in Portugal as well. For example, Terra Nostra, Castellós, Milagre, and also private labels. We conducted a survey with like around 90 answers to get like in better idea what our customer thinks. The perceived quality is expected for the private labels very, very good across all the cheese brands. And Limiano really starts at the relative brand recognition, by its marketing intensity is only better for Terra Nostra. The distribution channel size, we got this information from our KDM, is average, and I think we can see that Limiano is in general very good positioned here with the competitor analysis. Looking at the stakeholder analysis, we have the different stakeholders, we have their kind of participation, their influence, and their interest. The very first and probably most important stakeholder is our customer, which obviously is directly participating and has like a direct impact. And the customers are interested or having a stake in the quality, variety, and availability of the Limiano products. The suppliers do have like an indirect participation and an indirect influence, and have a stake in the company's purchasing practices and payment terms. Shareholders having like an indirect influence and also participating indirectly, having a stake in the company's performance, obviously. Employees obviously having like a very direct participation and very direct influence. They're having a stake in the company's success because like their jobs and their living is often dependent on it. And competitors indirectly participating but directly influencing, having a stake in the company's market share and its pricing strategy are obviously a very important force to consider for every step Limiano was taking. To creditors having indirect participation and very indirect influence, having stakes in the company's ability to fill its debt obligation as well as its overall financial health. And lastly, the overall Limiano community, which is participating indirectly and having also an indirect influence, and is very interested in the responsible business practice of Limiano and its positive social and environmental contributions. As we know, this is like an area where Limiano could develop even further. Now, having a look at the internal and external 3Ms, like the money, minute, and manpower. With money, we will dig deeper in the following with more rigor financial planning during the last phases. Minutes, for now, we can say we have now 12 weeks for this project, and we will come up, or we try to come up with an idea that yields results within 2 years. The manpower right now, we are having like our team of 5 students and our key decision maker, Paula Emerald. Now coming to the part where we introduce the challenge, Limiano Post on Ice. So the challenge from Limiano is how to increase sales volume of Limiano cheese slices. We got this challenge and it was not defined what kind of cheese slices. It is not defined, it is like the normal Limiano cheese. Just for background information, it's the general increase in sales volume of Limiano cheese slices. We have, based on this challenge, developed company KPIs or project-related KPIs we expect, and for the 12 weeks horizon. Not yet very aware of the innovation value creation wheel and its power and like the very good methods to use for idea generation. we had a really conservative approach and we came up with our KPIs of a minimum of 6 new concepts, a minimum of 5 new targets, and a minimum of 4 new consumption occasions. And for the 3 years following that, we developed like the KPIs of sales volume, sales growth, market share, customer satisfaction, consumer acceptance level, net sales penetration gains, as well as maybe more marketing related KPIs of website traffic, return on investment, social media engagement, the conversion rates, and consumer perception of differentiation from the competition. Having now a look at our expected KPIs, which are much more KDM and team related, we wanted to have in the short term a good satisfaction with our teamwork dynamic, having regular meeting and high rates on our peer evaluation. Further short term, we wanted to have like regular meetings with our KDM and wanted to involve her very much in the poker method. And short term as well, we want to respect our internal and also the external deadlines, which we successfully completed. In the medium term, we want to have like a good understanding of the cheese industry, which is very important for the overall project. And we all dig really, really deep into this topic. And we want to learn and have a deep understanding of the value creation wheel tools. And yes, this is much more of a long-term goal for us. And we wanted really to apply the tools very well throughout the project and also maybe future projects.
Moving along the value creation, we reach phase 2, increase. And this phase is all about generating as many ideas and criteria as possible. It's really about quantity rather than quality, as they will later on be evaluated by the key decision maker in phase 3. To generate ideas, we did the brainwriting 635 method between the members of the group, where basically each member writes 3 ideas and then passes its paper clockwise, and the other members need to develop on those previously written ideas. And we do this until everyone has developed everyone's ideas. In the end, we realized that were some ideas that were still in the air and weren't written, so I decided to also do a brainstorming exercise, and we finished up with 41 possible solutions. For the criteria, we started by doing the brainwriting method, then we also did some online research, and as we wanted to make sure that we weren't missing any key criteria, we also used artificial intelligence. So in the end, we were able to come up with 26 possible criteria. We use the poker method by Lage and Hartman to do the purification of concepts. And the poker method basically works as if one idea is bad, you just straight and kill it. If one idea has room for improvement, you review it. If one idea can lead to multiple ideas, you multiply it. And if the idea is already good, you keep it. And after applying the poker method, we finished up with 54 possible ideas. We also used this method for the criteria, and we finished up with 39 criteria to be then shown to the key decision maker for selection, as Henning will explain now in phase 3.
Thank you, Miguel, for explaining phase 2 increase and in how far we came up with ideas and criteria, and in how far we purified them, and how far we came up with the final number of ideas and criteria we now use for phase 3. And in phase 3, assess, it is basically about the engagement and the involvement of our key decision maker, Paula. This is now becoming crucial in this part to have a defined number of ideas and criteria we choose to proceed with further. And we choose to later put in the VC funnel and in the multi-criteria decision analysis, which my colleague Beatriz will explain to you later on in phase 4. But now to start with phase 3 and phase 3A, the selection of ideas. Again, we use the poker method, and not only the project team of us, but also with our key decision maker, Paula. So, as you know, we had 54 ideas coming out of phase 2. And in phase 3A, we killed 24, we reviewed 6, we decided to keep 24 as well, and multiply 0. And after reviewing those 6, we decided to keep 2 of them. Which means that we're heading into phase 4 with 26 final ideas. And this is a mutual decision made by the team as well as our key decision maker, Paula. If we then have a look at the criteria we selected, we have 39 filters coming out of phase 2. And again, we applied the poker method. We killed 27. We reviewed 4, or we decided to review 4 again and keep 8. After reviewing those 4 again, we ended up having 3 additional filters we want to keep. And now with the criteria, it was different than with the ideas because we have to differentiate between 2 types of criteria. The first type is the mandatory filters, and the second type is the optional or nice to have filters. And then we decided with our key decision maker, Paula, that we're going to have 8 mandatory filters and 3 optional or nice to have filters. And in how far they are applied to the later process, I will show you now. After having decided to keep 8 mandatory filters, it was again time to have our key decision maker Paula involved, and we had a meeting with her to discuss the ranking of the mandatory criteria and the weighing of the optional criteria. And what was most important to her, also based on Limiano's values and Limiano's tradition, which is a major part of our thought process and the project in general, is that the strategic fit, or that the idea we come up in the end fits the purpose of Limiano and the Bell Group as a whole, works out. Second, that it is not a reputational risk or brand fit, because as you know, Limiano being one of Portuguese top cheese brand regarding brand awareness, and it's a traditional brand, and basically every Portuguese knows Limiano cheese. So the idea we come up with can't be a reputational risk or a brand fit. Going on to the direct increase of net sales as number 3, this is basically resulting out of the challenge, how to increase sales volume of Limiano's cheese slices. So our idea needs to have a direct impact on the net sales. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I will just briefly explain to you because you will see them later in the VC funnel and the multi-criteria decision analysis again. We have the internal capacity that it's possible to actually make that product, or to develop the idea. That we have a positive or neutral environmental impact, positive or neutral corporate social responsibility and impact, also fitting to the values and to the image Limiano has, and not endangering it. It should differentiate from the competition, and this was also important to Paula, our key decision maker, to include that, or to have that as a mandatory filter. Because she doesn't want to copycat, or Limiano doesn't want to copycat from any other cheese brand. And number 8 was the timeline and complexity. So it should be able to be done in 2 years' time. And obviously it can be complex, but it should be possible in general to do. And then we weighed the optional criteria, or the nice to have criteria. And we had a meeting with our key decision maker again on that, talking about the percentages. And for example, if the mandatory criteria was weighed 100% because it's mandatory, the continuity, so meaning that the idea we come up with should be a sustainable and continuous increase, was weighed 60%. The fact that, or the filter saying it should be connected to new occasion moments, is 50%, and to increase young adults engagement 30%. So yeah, this was basically phase 3. We did the selecting of the ideas and criteria that will now end up in phase 4, and we ranked the mandatory filters and weighed the nice to have or optional filters.
Here we are at phase 4, in which the purpose was to narrow our ideas and start elaborating on our final product. By using first the VCF and then the MCDA, we were able to select the most suitable idea based on our challenge, which are those that pass through the filters we have previously selected in phases 2 and 3. Additionally, this phase presents a formulation of the concept and value proposition of our idea, which has been selected with the involvement of the key decision maker, Paula, and also presents the prototype of the final product we will launch on the market. In this slide, there are the filters or criteria that have been applied to the phase 4A. As the slide shows, we selected 8 final mandatory filters that were going to be applied on both the multi-decision criteria analysis and on the value version funnel. While on the right, we have the nice to have filters, which are those to which we, together with the key decision maker, decided to assign a specific percentage of desirability to apply them, since we thought that they weren't going to be necessary in our case. For this reason, the nice to have filters have only been applied in the multi-decision criteria analysis after the application of the mandatory ones. Then we pass to the application of the value creation funnel. So we started with 26 ideas that have been selected in phase 3A. And by applying each of the mandatory filters in order of decreasing relevance, we started narrowing. So after applying the filter on strategic fit, the first filter, we had 24 ideas. After applying the filter on the reputational risk or brand fit, we had 20 ideas, and so on with all the 8 mandatory filters, until we ended up having 3 ideas that passed the whole funnel. In the VCF, then we ended up having 3 ideas that passed through the funnel out of the 26 ideas previously generated, which were the vegan cheese option, the advertising campaign, and the new flavor. The current slide is explanatory of the functioning of the multi-criteria decision analysis, since we can see how the filters have been applied to the ideas. We see that for those ideas that passed through a filter, 1 point was being assigned, while if the idea didn't comply with the characteristics of the filter, we gave a 0. And here we can see our real MCDA that is included in our Excel file, as well as the VCF. The table highlights that after the application of all the mandatory and nice to have filters, we've been able to arrive at the end only with 2 ideas that had the highest degree of attractiveness, that was 9.4. Unlike in the VCF, in which there were 3 ideas that passed till the end. And here the 2 final ideas were the vegan option and the new flavor, which means that they are the only one that pass all the mandatory and nice to have filters. At this point of the analysis, then our challenge became that of understanding which of those ideas was going to be the final one. And to do so, the key decision maker, Paula, and the group work of our team played a key role, since Paula gave us the right inputs we had to take into account, and we started determining which was the most suitable idea according to our final objective. So in order to select our final idea, we had a few meetings with our key decision maker, Paula, and almost immediately we narrowed our decision-making process by taking the advertising campaign idea out of the picture, because it was the one that only passed through the value creation funnel, but didn't make it for the multi-criteria decision analysis, and secondly, because our key decision maker explained that such idea wasn't going to be successful enough for our challenge and wasn't even going to boost considerably, but only partially, the sales volume of the cheese slices. And in addition, since Limiano already does some kind of advertising campaign, Paula decided we had to build on a stronger idea. Then we had to evaluate between the vegan cheese option and the new flavor, which has been pretty difficult since there were pros and cons for both ideas. And this made also our group's opinion split at one point. So first of all, the vegan cheese option was a more disruptive idea because the company isn't currently offering a vegan product, and because the Portuguese market is probably not that advanced in the matter of plant-based products. But it could also be a really good opportunity for the brand, as this option would have enabled the company to cover the unexpected vegan target market in the country. However, it was also going to be a huge challenge for us, since the brand is known to be very traditional, and the logo of the cow was in contrast with with our again. However, it was also going to be a huge challenge for us, since the brand is known to be very traditional, and the logo of the cow was going to be in contrast with the image of a vegan cheese product. Regarding the new flavor, we were aware of the fact that it wasn't such an innovative idea, but we thought that ideating a new flavor for the cheese slices would have helped the brand to attract people that are foreign but also live in the country, people that usually don't buy Limiano cheese, and it would have also been probably appealing for people, for foreign people living in the country, with tastes like herb, chili, or paprika, and additionally, a traditional Portuguese flavor like piri piri could have created new consumption opportunities for the current audience. However, Paula made us elaborate on the fact that probably the introduction of a new flavor product was going to be contrasted with the characteristics of the product that has, as she always told us, a mild taste and a texture that are unique and are also the core characteristics of the product itself. For this reason, then we proceeded with the evaluation of the feasibility of the vegan option by conducting a market research on both the Portuguese and foreign cheese brands. In our market research, we found that some brands under the Bell Group, such as Avaca Curry and Baby Bell, offer a vegan product line. In particular, Avaca Curry, so the laughing cow, has a vegan cheese uh, product in its line, and also has a cow in the logo. But we weren't able to find many more informations on it because of the delayed launch of the product. And we also did some market research on international brands that have been suggested by Paula, which are Cathedral City, Sargento, Organic Valley, Kerrygold, and Maple Hill. And they have been suggested because they have the same traditional positioning as Limiano. We found out then that some of them that have the cow logo built a parallel brand and a slightly different name in order to offer vegan products on the market, while the ones that were offering some vegan products under the same brand name were those that didn't have the cow in the logo. So that's why in the end, after presenting the results to our key decision maker, we agreed that we had to build a different logo in order to introduce the vegan cheese slices option in the market. So at this point of the analysis, it became fundamental to start delineating which was going to be the concept and the value proposition of our final product. Among a red ocean strategy and the blue ocean strategy, we decided to go for a red ocean strategy based on the beating the competition and operating in an existing market space, which would have enabled to exploit existing demand for vegan cheese. In fact, we decided that for Limiano, the main focus should have been on the product differentiation by offering unique flavors as to stand out in the market. And in addition, the brand should have had major advantages by answering to a demand that was already present, thus justifying also for the expansion of distribution channels and investment in advertising and promotions in order to attract more customers to the brand and increase also the brand awareness. Moreover, Limiano, in our opinion, should also take advantage of catering the vegan market by establishing partnerships with other companies or restaurants of the country, since this would enable the brand to increase the visibility of its vegan cheese slices. So after the decision on the red ocean strategy, we started elaborating on the STP analysis by first deciding that the best way to segment our market was to adopt a psychographic segmentation approach, which is that based on the division of the market according to the consumer's personality traits, beliefs, lifestyles, and interests. That's why we decided to divide our market into three separate segments, which are the ethical vegan, foodies and trendsetters, and health conscious consumers that, for different reasons, would have been interested in our product. In fact, ethical vegans are the ones mostly attached to the vegan lifestyle for ethical reasons, because it's their belief and it's aligned with their personal values, while in contrast, trendsetters are those that became passionate about vegan food and maybe are willing to try new products and flavors. And probably they are just people that are curious of the trend of vegan food, since they're being influenced by food bloggers, social media influencers, or celebrity chefs. And in addition, there's also the segment of health conscious consumers, which is the portion of the market made up by people that would like to introduce some vegan and plant based product in their diet for health reasons. So they want to prioritize their health and their wellness. And for this reason, they tend to choose vegan products because of their good composition of nutrients. So based on the previously described segments, we decided to adopt a multi-targeting marketing strategy that was comprising the ethical targets and the health-conscious target. The reason behind this decision is that first, ethical and health-conscious consumers are often more loyal to the brands they align their values with, and also because targeting ethical consumers would have helped Limiano position itself as a socially responsible company, also improving its overall brand reputation. And to do so, we built some buyer personas, as we can see in the slide, that maintain the strong value of the family that characterize Limiano and its consumers since the beginning. But it also presents different reasons for trying the new vegan cheese slices, which would have helped us to better understand the needs of our target and in which way we could have addressed them the best. So according to our analysis on our multi-target, we established our positioning statement for the new product line, which is enjoy guilt-free snacking with Limiano's new vegan slice cheese made from high-quality plant-based ingredients, offering the same delicious taste and texture as our traditional cream cheese without any animal products. Ideal for ethical consumers and health-conscious people. Elevator sandwiches, crackers, and charcuterie boards with the creamy and savory ever of Limiano's vegan sliced cheese. So the statement highlights that our competitive advantage will be to be operating in such rapidly expanding and interesting market. And it's also sustained by the values that still include the traditional ones, which are the quality, the tradition, the integrity, but there are also the new ones. So innovation, sustainability, and in general, an increasing customer focus. And here's a slide on the concept of our new product, which is made up of 4 different steps. So the first concerns the recipe, which is different because it will include only plant-based ingredients, such as nuts, soy, and coconut oil, and they will be used in order to obtain a unique taste and texture, which will also try to reproduce the one of the currently available Limiano products. Then the second step would include the packaging, which will be made in such a way that preserves the freshness and the flavor of the cheese. And of course, it will follow environmentally friendly guidelines. The third step will be on the marketing strategy, since the vegan cheese slices will be marketed as a premium product with highly quality ingredients, unique taste, and made up by sustainable production methods, which were also meant to lever the reputation of the brand itself. And then the fourth and last step will be the establishing of partnerships with local restaurants and cafes, and also with local distributors. So to sum up, the introduction of the vegan cheese slices will create a significant value by diversifying the brand product line from the currently offered products and also from the competition, thus reinforcing the brand image and attracting the previously mentioned targets. So regarding the marketing, we decided to describe it better using the 4 Ps. Of course, the product characteristics are the ones that we have previously discussed, but it's also necessary to take a deeper look at other characteristics such as the price, place, and promotion. The price of the new Limiano product will be competitive compared to other high quality vegan cheese products on the market, and also designed in order to make the product appealing to premium consumers. The vegan product will be available both online and in selected grocery stores, and also in specialty food retailers, being strategically placed alongside other vegan and dairy cheese products in order to increase the product visibility. And finally, its promotion will cover a range of marketing channels, including social media, email newsletters, targeted online advertising, but it's also likely that the product will be promoted through the collaboration with bloggers, influencers, and product demos and tasting in stores. And here we can see an example of the product promotions, both on the Instagram page and on the email newsletter. And here we are at the last step of the fourth phase, which has been the designing of the prototype of the new product and the new logo. So as it has been previously mentioned, it has been decided that the product line should have had a different logo, since the cow element was going to be problematic for our ultimate goal. That's why we adapted the new logo in order to meet the expectations of the new target groups, still keeping the other elements. So the name, the colors, and the motto "Faz parte da família" are still present in the logo. The redesigning, in fact, allows for more effective marketing, but also shows the commitment of Liviano to both tradition and innovation. And the packaging itself remained pretty similar to the old one, apart from the new logo. Apart from also the presence of the words vegan and natural and the plant element that wasn't in the packaging before. And also, finally, changing the packaging, in our opinion, would allow us to build a more consistent branding and effective marketing of the new vegan cheese product line.
Thank you, Beatrice. So as we move towards the final phase of the value creation wheel framework, phase 5, called Acts, I would like first to begin with the 3M analysis. Specifically, let's start by the manpower, which is the team that we will need to put to life the project. After careful consideration, we have determined that we will need a team consisting of one project manager to oversee the entire project, manage timelines, ensure the project's successful completion. Additionally, we will need 2 food technologists to develop the recipe and ensure the product meets the desired taste, texture, and nutritional profile. We will also require 1 person for the packaging and design, 2 individuals for the quality control to ensure that the product meets all the regulatory and safety requirements, and 3 for sales and marketing tasks. Given our multi-targeting segmentation strategy, we will have 2 people working on each of the segments and collaborating closely together. Finally, we will assign 1 person to focus exclusively on building and maintaining brand reputation. By assembling a team with the necessary expertise and experience, we are confident that Limiano can deliver a high qualitative product that meets the needs and preference of the targets. Now, moving on to the minutes phase of the 3M analysis, with the pre-production milestone. Starting in January 2023, the company will spend 1 year completing this phase, which includes a variety of tasks such as the idea generation, the concept development, the research and development, the costing and scaling, and the packaging and labeling. Based on benchmarks and analysis, we have determined different time periods for each task, and this information has been compiled into the Gantt charts that you can see on the right. While we won't have time to go on every task in detail, the chart provides a clear overview of time distribution and milestone Limiano will be working towards. As we move forward with the presentation, I would like to explain the different steps of the production milestone. This phase includes several categories of tasks such as manufacturing, marketing, launch, sales and distribution, and post-launch evaluation. Beginning in January 24, Limiano will be responsible for a variety of tasks such as sourcing ingredients, developing marketing materials, distributing products, and collecting customer feedback, for instance. As you can observe on the Gantt chart, some tasks will take place on a continuous basis, and it will be important to stay committed, to stay on top of them, and to ensure the success of this project. We believe that the pre-production and production milestones are critical to the success of the project. And now finishing the 3M analysis with the money part, we have conducted extensive analysis and benchmarking, and we estimated that implementing the vegan cheese product will require a total budget of approximately 1.5 million euros. This comprehensive budget accounts for various expenses, including research and development, hiring, production, patents, salaries, marketing campaigns, and extra costs. Based on our market research, we've determined that the average price of vegan cheese is approximately 15.5 euro per kilogram. So we've decided that for Limiano, the premium price will be 17.5 euro to ensure that the company is still profitable. Our proposed budget is aligned with our clients' expectations and reflects a comprehensive investment in the product development and launch. We are confident that this budget will enable us to meet our clients' key performance indicator without any financial constraints. If you want more details, you have access to a hidden slide on the PowerPoint. To finish the first part of phase 5, here's our future business model that we've established for Limiano. The primary activities will be developing and manufacturing of vegan sliced cheese products, promoting it and distributing it to the market. As already explained, the target audience will be health-conscious people and ethical consumers. The company must aim to create a unique customer relationship by providing personalized and engagement to build brand loyalty and trust. Norwich will plan to foster customer relationships through online communities and social medias, which we believe is vital to long-term success. It will distribute the products through 3 primary channels: retail stores and supermarkets, second, online marketplace and e-commerce platforms, and finally, direct-to-consumer delivery services. By leveraging these channels, it should reach a broad and diverse customer base that value vegan and ethical products. It must also partner with suppliers of vegan ingredients, distribution channels, and retailers to help us bring the product to the market. By partnering with the right companies, it can ensure that the product is of the highest quality. The key resources required are raw materials and ingredients, production and manufacturing costs, staff salaries, marketing and advertising expenses, and distribution and logistic costs. The cost structure will depend on skilled employees with expertise in vegan food production, marketing and sales, production facilities and equipment, as well as brand reputation and recognition. Finally, the revenue streams will be sales of vegan sliced cheese through retail and online channels, as well as fees from franchises. We believe that it will enable Limiano to be profitable. So to summarize, the value proposition of Limiano is a high-quality, delicious, and convenient vegan sliced cheese that meets the needs and preference of health-conscious and ethical consumers. As we review the progress of the project, we wanted to address the KPIs that we've established at the beginning. While we successfully achieved all of the KPIs at the exception of the peer evaluation rates, Limiano will then need to carefully assess its 3-year goals, such as sales volume growth, market share, penetration gains, and traffic websites, among others. By keeping a close eye on those metrics, the firm can ensure the successful implementation of the project and achieve the desired outcomes. We recognize that achieving those goals will require dedication, hard work, and willingness to adapt if needed, but it is important to take into consideration those KPIs. And now the last steps of phase 5 are the implementation and control. We've established some key aspects to consider to ensure the success for the ID implementation. Testing the product to make sure that it's aligned with customers' expectation will be necessary because actual customers have high expectations regarding the taste and texture and want to keep it. Then following the project launch plan is important, but being flexible is as important. Ensuring that the members of the company have shared and aligned interests with the project too. Fourthly, the quality control must be there with the VCW option. And finally, being able to use the KPI to improve in the future if needed. Now it's a summary if you still didn't understand why we should pursue the vegan option. First, additional revenue for Limiano because of more customers and a bigger base. A competitive advantage for the company as vegan consumers believe that the offering is scarce for high qualitative vegan cheese. Improvement of the brand reputation by showing that the firm is capable of innovating. Increase of the market share thanks to a broader portfolio. And finally, a strategic product by using it as a way to forecast possible new trends. And now to conclude this presentation, here are the next steps that Limiano will need to undertake. So right after the course, Limiano will have to deepen the market research to understand demand competition, develop a recipe, source ingredients, adjust production processes, develop the marketing strategy, launch the vegan cheese, and make adjustments if needed. After the launch of the product, it will have to monitor sales and customer feedback, evaluate marketing and sales strategies, adjust recipe, expand the product line with new flavors, build brand awareness, stay up to date on the industry trends. And for the long-term steps, well, Limiano will have to build on existing brand reputation to attract new customers, invest in research and development, consider the environmental impact of the new product line, and embrace innovation. Concerning the lessons learned throughout the project, well, we've discovered the importance of stakeholders' involvement and flexibility. Stakeholders' input can provide valuable insight into potential challenges, opportunities, and preferences. Their support for the project and they increase the likelihood of success and foster a sense of ownership. We also learned about the VCW framework in general. We discovered it as a tool to provide a clear structure and guidance to any consulting project. It allows to come up with ideas and solutions that we could not have without it. And value and innovations are key parts of the value creation wheel framework, which supports sustainable ideas and solutions throughout the whole process. We also enhanced our comprehension of team dynamic. Indeed, effective communication, coordination, creativity, and motivation are all necessary for the project success. Through this project, we learned how to facilitate a positive team dynamic by fostering collaboration, managing conflicts, and promoting a sense of ownership and engagement among team members. And quickly, the project outputs. First, the project team developed deep knowledge about the cheese industry with the help of the key decision maker. The value creation wheel framework allowed us to come with new ideas and show the importance of key decision maker and stakeholder engagement. And eventually, the the VCW framework provided a holistic approach to a problem. It not only helped finding a solution, but also developed it and gave further recommendations. Here are some personal statements which reflect key insight that each member of the team had concerning the project. I don't think that it is essential to present them right now, but you can have a look at it later on. Thank you for your time. I hope that this presentation helped you to understand how we came up with the vegan cheese as an option to address the challenge of Limiano.